If you have trouble hearing me or seeing me, can you like yell at me? Because I actually can't see you now. So just like unmute yourself, yell at me, we'll figure it out. For the yang portion of class, we're gonna start on the back. And you might have like your blocks somewhere where you can grab them a little later, a strap if you'd like, somewhere where you can grab it later. And if you'd like to, I'm not going to use the bolster for the yang portion of class. I'm going to put it off to the side so that I can use it when we move into yin. If you'd like to have a blanket to sit on, or if you'd like to start taking advantage of the chair, you can always sit on one of those two things. But again, we'll start on the back. So just have the blanket wherever you'd like it. I'm going to put it for some texture just underneath my sacrum. So let's come all the way down to the back. And while you're getting settled here, I'm just going to talk to you for a few minutes. So find your whole spine against the floor. Bring your feet as wide as the mat and allow the knees to tent into one another. Feel your whole spine on the floor, and if you notice that there's a little bit of a lift underneath your low back here, right where your lumbar spine is, maybe press that belly button straight down to the floor. You can even press the feet into the floor to help that happen. And then notice where your arms want to go. Did they naturally fall by your side, maybe palms up or palms down? Maybe it's one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Maybe it's something like cactus arms. Maybe your arms are overhead. Again, notice the connection of the spine to the earth and really start to settle in here while I talk to you. So one of the reasons why, first of all, I've missed you so much. That's primarily the reason why I wanted to come and teach a class today. It's because I miss you so much and I miss teaching so much. One of the other reasons though, especially that I think it's important now, is because we are facing so much chaos. And I don't have to be careful with my language anymore. And we don't have to be careful in our processing anymore. And I want to just express how hard life is right now. And that it's not okay and it's not normal. But it is asking us to take our true yoga practice into our everyday life. In yoga, in mainstream depictions of Western yoga, we are really conditioned to think that yoga is supposed to like feel really good all of the time. And I was listening to Jessamyn Stanley, who, you know, I'm in love with her. She DM'd me and told me that we're married. So don't worry, Nicole knows. I'm now in a throuple with Jessamyn Stanley and Nicole, it's fine. So she talked about how yoga is not that way all of the time. That yoga really is sitting with discomfort, learning from that discomfort, and then choosing what's next. We have sort of hammered that lesson in through 2020, if you were with me through Honor. And here we are again, faced with that same lesson, right? We are really uncomfortable right now. The world is really difficult to navigate on so many levels. On the level of basic need, all the way up to the level of philosophical thinking and morality, and the morality of justice and of our justice system. So all the way up, there are these incongruencies. And I have found myself so uncomfortable in my body, in my world, especially this week. And it's been calling me back to the mat. When we are on our mat, we are put in positions that are not necessarily comfortable. And each posture has a purpose. And when we can surrender to the purpose of the posture, firstly, it helps us to not attach ourselves to the aesthetic of that posture, rather the function of it. Like, okay, do I feel extension in my left hip? do I feel strength in my right hamstring, right? So we lose the need to look a certain way. But also, it reminds us that we can do hard things. That we can do hard things. And when we practice doing the hard thing and putting one foot in front of the other, even if we're wobbly, even if we fall, even if we feel like we've royally fucked up, one foot in front of the other, sitting with the discomfort and learning from the discomfort on the mat how to move our body in a way that feels good or feels strong or feels empowering. Whatever you need today, take it. And in the world, moving forward through discomfort to do good, to do not just good, your highest good. Yes, all of that is yoga. So you're on your back. You're on your back, and you feel the solid earth beneath you. And together, we will begin to breathe. So close down the eyes if you haven't already. And just begin to notice the way that your breath feels today. Notice if that breath is short, shallow, maybe it's stuck in the chest, up above the collarbone, or maybe it's a little lower. Notice if that breath is maybe a little longer, maybe a little deeper, maybe it's deep enough to start to push the diaphragm down and fill up the belly. And if not, don't worry, we'll get there together. And here I'd love for all of you to inhale all the way, fill all the way up. Fill to the very top of your capacity. And then suck in one more micro breath. Exhale through the mouth. But exhale so much that it's like you're wringing out a sponge. You're pulling the belly button straight down so that you're completely out of breath. Good, and then let the inhale come. Fill yourself all the way up so much. And then one more inhale before you exhale through the mouth. All the way out. Last one, in. Even more in and out. Good. And then return to your normal breathing and just notice if anything has changed about that breath, just from those 3 rounds. And let's try 3-part breath together. So 3 parts are inhaling into the lowest part of the lung, the lowest lobes of the lung, so your belly will poke out. The second part is breathing into your chest. Think about the breath going side to side. The third part is breathing right above your collarbone. So just lifting that little divot above the center of your collarbones where they come together, straight up with breath. So exhale completely. Inhale into the belly. Inhale side to side into the chest. Inhale all the way at the top. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Inhale belly. Inhale chest. Inhale throat. Exhale mouth. Last one. In. In and out. Good. On your next inhale, take a good morning stretch. Stretch your hands away from you. Extend your legs long. Point and flex the feet. Roll the wrists around one direction and then the other direction. And exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Maybe the knees are together. Maybe the knees are apart. Maybe this doesn't feel so good, so your legs are up. You could bring your hands behind your thighs and just move the thigh bones closer to the outside of your rib cage. You could use a strap here in front of the shins or behind the thigh. So many choices here. And then choose a little wiggle. Maybe it's a wobble side to side. Maybe it's a circle of the knees around the sacrum. Yeah. Ooh, I needed that. And then let's flip over into tabletop position. So tabletop position, let me give you some options. So first, you can have your knees on this blanket if you'd like. If you don't have a blanket, you can roll over your yoga mat to provide some padding for your knees. Hands in Western yoga, it is very popular to cue stacked joints here, right? Sometimes it doesn't feel so good on wrists. Feel free to walk your hands forward a little bit. It'll decrease the angle of your wrists. If this is uncomfortable, you can even raise your hands up onto blocks. You could make the blocks a little bit taller and come to your forearms. So find your tabletop, wherever that is. I think I'm going to use blocks a little further away from my shoulders. And we'll do a couple rounds of cow and then cat. So tuck those toes, inhale, drop the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades back on the spine and look forward, cow. Exhale, press the floor away, round the spine, gaze back between the thighs, maybe untuck the toes. Inhale, tuck the toes, lead with that belly, belly comes down, gaze comes forward, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, push the floor away, round the spine. Then one more inhale for your cow. And exhale for your cow. Good. Coming back to center. Right hand first. Lift the right hand out and to the right. Follow it with your gaze. Exhale, right hand threads underneath left armpit. Little tap on the back left ribs. Inhale, sweep the arm all the way up. Extend, gaze up. Exhale, right hand comes underneath left shoulder. Little tap. One more inhale, all the way up. Exhale, little tap. And then drop that right shoulder all the way to the floor. There's lots of options here too. So first, just notice your hips. Sometimes I feel like my knees get kind of pinchy, like my hips are back behind my knees. So I'm just going to straighten my knees out a little bit. You could even go a little further back if you'd like. Yes. Start with your left fingertips tented close to the eye of your left arm. Press those fingertips into the earth and just notice the twist that's beginning to happen. You could even begin to look up at the ceiling if you were very careful with your neck. You could walk this left hand forward to the top left corner of the mat. You could internally rotate that left hand, thumb points down, bring it back behind your sacrum, or even snake it into that right pocket, or maybe even holding onto that right thigh. You could stay here rolling that left shoulder up, back, and down. Or you could extend that left foot. You could lift that left foot. Yeah. So many options. Try to keep that left hip turned down. Good. When you're ready, maybe left knee comes down. Maybe left hand comes underneath left shoulder or finds that block. On an inhale, press all the way back, open right arm toward the ceiling. And back into your tabletop position. I'm going to turn around for the second side and do it in a different way. So here I'm in my traditional tabletop position. We'll start with our left hand. So inhale, lift the left arm up to the left. Left hand underneath right armpit, little tap. Inhale, extend, maybe the gaze follows that left hand. Exhale, little tap. Last one. Inhale, open all the way up. Exhale, little tap. And then slide that left hand underneath the right armpit, come down onto the left shoulder. The left cheek is like very light on the earth. We are pressing down through that left shoulder. Noticing the weight in your knees, maybe wiggling the bum back and forth to make sure that you have equal pressure on both knees. Right fingertips, gecko finger to the inside of left elbow. Press into the floor. Notice how that helps roll the right shoulder blade back. You could twist your gaze up toward the ceiling. You could walk those right fingertips to the top right corner of the mat. You could internally rotate that right hand, thumb points down, bring it back behind the sacrum, or snake it into the left pocket. You could stay here, rolling that right shoulder up, back, and down. You could extend that right leg out. I'm totally gonna catch the chair on my way up. Oh, no, I'm not. Or you can lift that right leg toward the ceiling. Good, again, making sure those hips are square to the earth. Dropping that right knee. Releasing the right hand to the floor or to a block, and then inhale all the way up. Unravel. Find that tabletop. And then we will come into puppy stretch. Puppy stretch, hips over knees, hands walk forward. Perhaps your puppy stretch looks like this, very high. That's great. Perhaps the chest begins to sink a little more between the shoulders. We're looking for a back bend here with the sits bones sort of the highest point. Maybe your forehead can touch the earth, or perhaps you'd like to have something like a block for your forehead. Perhaps your chin touches the earth. Perhaps your chest touches the earth, and really experiment with how wide your hands are. Just notice, and I'd love for you to notice your breath. Let's try that 3-part breath in this shape. Inhale, and exhale completely to prepare. Inhale belly, inhale ribs, inhale chest, exhale, and again, inhale 1, inhale 2, inhale 3, exhale. Good. Return to your normal breath. And then I'd love for you to walk back to tabletop position. And from here, we will take child's pose. Child's pose is hard. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. So if this does not feel good, you can stay in tabletop. You could lay on your side, or you could lay on your back. So maybe big toes come to touch and knees are wide. Start to bring your seat back toward your heels. Maybe your seat makes it to your heels, or maybe you'd feel more comfortable. Remember when I said I wasn't going to use the bolster during the yang portion, I lied. Maybe you'd feel more comfortable with either a bolster, a pillow, or maybe a rolled up blanket underneath your seat. And then we begin to descend the chest and head toward the earth. Maybe that doesn't happen for you either. So maybe you'd like to have your head supported. Or perhaps that doesn't matter so much to you as having your elbows to the floor. You decide what child's pose looks like for you, but what I'm really looking for is a little bit of a curve in that spine. So for me, I don't use props for this one, but for you it might be a little different. Looking for a little bit of a curve. Notice your breath here. And notice what kinds of thoughts are floating around in that mind. Know that that's okay. It's the mind's job to think. It really is. So every time you have a thought, perhaps greet it with kindness. Oh, my brain is thinking. That's good. I'm fucking alive. That's great. And then notice that you can allow that thought to pass you by. Put it down for a moment. Be right here with us in this moment. In this sacred time. On an inhale, come up to a more active child's pose. You're on your tippy fingers. Yeah. And walk your fingers over to the left. Find a side bend here. Maybe that right hand walks past the left. Just don't allow your right sit bone to come away from either your heel or your prop.
Feel that stretch all along the right side body. Don't go as far as you are able or want to. Notice the feeling of breath in between each of your ribs.
Inhale to center, and then exhale, walk the hands over to the right.
Good.
Then get that nice stretch in the left side. Maybe left hand crosses over right. Make sure that left sit bone isn't coming with you. You're really pressing back into that left sit bone.
Feeling the breath in between each one of those little ribs. Good.
Inhale to center, and then walk your hands back toward your knees and bring your knees together. Notice how you feel sitting on your heels or sitting on a prop. Like imagine that you have your bolster, you can use a block here. Notice how that feels. See if you can sit all the way up. See how that feels for you. And then I'd love for you to, if you would like, if you have the range of motion, if you have the will, to go ahead and tuck those toes. You could stay somewhere like here. You could stay somewhere like here, or you can come all the way up to sit on the backs of your heels. Bring your hands, backs of your hands underneath your armpits, like a funky chicken, I know, and allow your elbows to weight you down. Lift the crown of the head toward the ceiling, and then exhale, drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, rock right ear to right shoulder. Notice sensation. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale to center. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. And exhale to center, lift the head all the way up. Shake out the wrists. How are your toes doing? Yeah, do you need a break or can you stay for a moment? Notice discomfort and notice the difference between discomfort and pain. And yeah, I want you to do this with your hands. Shake out your wrists. Shake them side to side. Furiously. Shake them up and down. Make your Apple Watch think that you fell. Yeah, good. Bring the backs of your hands together. Roll them around in one direction. Roll them around in another direction. Yeah, and you can go ahead and take, stop the toe torture. Hang on, I wrote notes for this class. I'm really excited. Okay, good. Here we go. Everyone's like, you wrote notes. Yes, I did. I did, y'all. I was nervous. All right. Come back into tabletop and extend that right leg back. Rock back and forth on the right toes. Open up that calf. Drop that right knee. Left side. Extending, rocking back and forth. Good. And from here, I'd love for you to lift that left heel toward the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, bring left knee to nose or left knee to the center. Maybe your left foot drops, that's okay. Help it up in between the hands. You could keep your blocks here if you'd like. You could be using a chair here if you'd like. So maybe I have my chair just for steadiness here. Maybe I'm using even my forearm here. Now I'm walking my left foot rather forward and to the left a little bit. I'm finding some more extension here. I really want to feel the stretch in the front of my right hip. I really want to feel some fired up goodness happening in the outside of my left hip. My right knee is still on this blanket. I have not moved it. But sometimes I find that tucking my right toes feels better. So you can explore. And from here, you can use blocks, you can use a chair, you can use a nice combination of both. You don't have to use either. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up, maybe gaze follows. And exhale, begin to fold forward, straightening that left knee, and then finding runner's lunge. Maybe you're here. It's a tough balancing act, especially when you go slow. So if you're finding balance tough, know that these props are here to help you, and also that you can widen your stance left to right. So here's your runner's lunge. Inhale, come all the way up, Anjaneyasana, arms follow. Exhale all the way back down, runner's lunge. Maybe as you get deeper into this, you can begin removing props, maybe. Inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way down, finding your runner's lunge. Spend some time here. Wiggle back and forth. Play with the location of your left heel. Maybe it's straight out in front of you. Maybe it's a little to the left. Maybe it's crossing over a little to the right. Notice different sensations depending on where you go. From here, I'd love to sort of reverse that action of stepping that foot through. So plant your hands to find your tabletop, and here you might find that lifting your hands up a lot is helpful. Bend that left knee, suck that left thigh either in toward the chest or toward the outside of the rib cage, and allow the left knee to face the floor, coming back to meet the right. Yes, and let's do one cow, one cat. Good. From here, I'd love for you to swivel. I'm going to demonstrate. Swivel your right shin off of your mat. Come to the inside of that left foot and allow the left arm to come all the way up to the ceiling. So I have right hand, right knee, left foot all touching the earth. Left arm above. Again, you could elevate this right hand with the block. Know you have 3 heights here. How tall do you want to be? You could even be using your chair. You could be using a forearm on a chair. Where is your side plank? That is what this is. Inhale here, maybe gaze at that left hand. Exhale, left hand, a little rib tap. We've done this motion before, yes. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, little rib tap. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, little rib tap. Inhale all the way up, and maybe we get very, very light on this right hand. Lift all the way up, torso square to center, wide arms. Bring the back of the left hand to the top of the left leg. Sweep the right arm in front of the face and then over the right ear. Sink into gate pose. Pull that belly button in. Sometimes my belly likes to plop out when I'm in a side bend. I don't really know why. But really, my front ribs, my whole front core should be pulling in to support me here. Maybe this left hand becomes very, very light and comes parallel to the right arm. Just notice. And then when you're ready, inhale, wave the arms all the way over, find your tabletop position. Very good. Second spine. All right, I'm gonna do this propless. You have the opportunity to do whatever you like. So, right leg extends. Lift right leg toward the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, right knee to nose. Step right foot between the hands or help it up. Find your lunge. I'm gonna push my right femur bone away while I sink into this lunge. Inhale, arms come all the way up, gaze follows. Exhale, fold forward, really taking your time on that descent, resisting gravity, finding your runner's lunge. Inhale, coming all the way back up, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. And exhale all the way forward, folding over that right leg, runner's lunge. One more, inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way forward. Spend some time. Wiggle your butt. Play with the location of your right heel. Good. And then from here, place your hands, maybe they're lifted. Bend that right knee, suck that right thigh either into the chest or to the outside of the ribs. Place that right knee down to meet the left.
Plant your hands, tuck the toes, lift the hips, find downward facing dog. I'd like to show you down dog on a chair. Down dog on a chair. Maybe you're using the front part of the seat, yes? Making an L shape. Maybe you'd like your hands a bit higher, so you're using the back of a chair. Again, making an L shape. There's your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in down dog. And then from here, tiptoe your feet in. If you're in the chair, maybe just walk them a little bit closer. Bend your elbows. And find your forward fold. So I've got my forearms on my chair. Maybe my forward fold is exactly my downward facing dog. Yeah, maybe it is. But exhale, release your torso so that there's no energy in it. Let your belly hang, let your head hang. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. Inhale, halfway lift, nice long spine. I'm still staying with the chair so you can see, nice long spine. And then exhale again, round the spine, release the head. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold, shake the head. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then on your next inhale, roll up. Vertebra by vertebra, arms are heavy. Head is heavy. Head comes up very last. And here we are in Tadasana. You made it. All right, wiggle around. Shake it out. Maybe lift the heels away from the floor, like this. Maybe it's one at a time. Just give it a little shake. We moved a little bit, yeah? That felt good. All right. Chair pose. I'm gonna stay with my chair. These postures are pretty well known. So I'll do the chair on the first side, then I'll demo without props on the second side. Know that instead of a chair, you could always use blocks for some of this. Blocks make the floor come to you more easily. Same thing with a chair. Or you could use a wall. I did put that in my email too. A wall is very steadying. So find your chair pose. Maybe your feet are together, maybe your feet are as wide as your hips, and sinking down toward the earth. So I learned a new thing. Knees passing the ankles is not necessarily a bad thing. Notice what feels right and what feels weird or painful in your body. Move the seat back and move the seat down. We are really resisting gravity here, and that's the whole point. Now put one hand on your low belly and one hand on your low back. And notice if your booty popping a little bit. Lengthen your tailbone and pull the belly in. Shorten the distance between your lowest ribs and pubic bone by almost doing a crunch here. Yes. And then choices with your arms. Would you like your hands at heart center? Would you prefer your arms by your ears? Or clasping the hands overhead? Wherever you are, close your eyes. Take an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. Yes. Staying in your chair pose, you can use the assistance of a chair, a wall, or blocks. Step the right foot all the way back to the back of your mat. Find high lunge, but keep your torso sort of at an angle so that it's almost as if there's one line from your right heel all the way to the top of your head here. Notice the feeling in the outside of that left hip. Getting a little fired up here, yeah. Now I'd love for you to begin to lift the chest, but I don't want the legs to change. So lift the chest, yes. Lift it as far as is comfortable. Maybe it's perpendicular to the floor, maybe it's not. It's okay. Lift the arms all the way up overhead if you'd like, unless you are holding onto a chair or a wall. Yes. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the left. Right arm forward, left arm back. If you're using a wall, just slide that right hand forward and allow yourself to turn as much as possible. If you're using a chair, perhaps you just come into a revolved side angle. So right hand down, left arm up. Find your twist. Yes. Inhale, come all the way to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale to center. Chest is high. Exhale to twist and hold here. Close your eyes. Notice this feeling of discomfort if you have it. Where is it? What is its texture? What is its color? Can you breathe into it? On an inhale, come out of your twist and begin to straighten that front leg. So if your hands are on a chair, you could stay there just like this, just sort of moving that left knee back. If you are in your lunge, perhaps your hands come down to your hips, finding that straight left leg, and then begin to fold over that left leg, finding almost a pyramid pose. When you're ready, you can hop that right foot in, drop that right heel in at a 45-degree angle or so, and begin to fold a little more deeply. I love this chair. I love the option that it gives me with my arms. I think it keeps my spine a little longer, gives my forehead something to rest on. It's working for me. I hope you all are enjoying it if you're using it. And if you're not, let's do it next time. From here, I'd love for you to come forward into warrior two legs. You're already mostly there. Come forward into warrior two legs. I'm going to get rid of my chair just for a moment. Yeah. Bring your hands to your hips. And what I'd like for you to do is come up. It's going to sound silly. Get a lot of weight into this left foot. I'd like for you to come up almost into a star position if you can. Nice full balance here. And then swivel that right foot in front of the left. Find your twisted legs. And then fold over your twisted forward fold. If you fall, that's okay. I did too. You can always come into it. So my right foot is in front of my left so that my pinky toes are friends. I'm just going to wiggle my butt side to side. Yes. Inhale, halfway lift and untangle your feet. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Inhale, roll all the way up. Tadasana. Shake it out. We've got a second side. Okay. Chair pose. Find your chair. Whatever chair makes sense for you. Noting your pelvis. Yes. Noting your knees and how they feel. And whether one is in front of the other. You want them to be even. Yeah. Hands, where would you like them? Can you sink a little deeper? From here, hands on your hips or hands on your props. Step the left foot all the way back. Find high lunge legs. Keep the torso at an angle. Notice my back foot. Notice how my heel is stacked over my toe. This is exactly the same position of the foot as in that toe stretch. So see if you can find that sensation here. And when you're ready, begin to lift the chest. Notice that big stretch on the left side. Inhale, maybe the arms come up. Yes. Exhale here. One more inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Left arm forward, right arm back, or maybe you're in that sort of revolved side angle using the chair or a block. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist right. Good. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist right. Hold for a minute. What are you feeling and where? Inhale all the way to center and begin to straighten that right leg. Inhale here. Exhale, begin to fold over that right leg. Go as slowly as you can. Perhaps hopping that left foot in a bit. Left heel drops in at a 45-degree angle. Perhaps take your right thumb into the right hip crease. Just press that right hip crease back. Yeah. And begin to fold over that right leg for your pyramid pose. Maybe your hands are on your shin. Maybe they're on your thigh. Maybe they're on blocks on either side of that right foot. Maybe they're on the floor. Maybe they're using that chair. Inhale, come back up through warrior one. Yeah, so the leg's already in position. Just bending the right knee, bringing my torso all the way up. Hands to hips or hands out, if that will help you. Get really heavy in that right foot, light on the ball mound of the left. Come into that little, this is also called five-pointed star. I'm going to use a wall to help me. Yes, I'm building the muscle memory to get me there. Swivel that left foot in front of the right. Left is in front of the right. Pinky toes are friends. And now I will fold over my twisted forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, untangle the feet. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release the hands. So, how about some goddess? Walk your feet nice and wide. Yeah. Heels in, toes going out. Hands on your hips to begin. Bend the knees. Bend the knees. Do you want to sit on a chair? Is that helpful? Maybe it is. See where you want to go. See where you want to go. Maybe it's helpful to have it there just in case you need a break. Yeah. Inhale, straighten the knees, lift up the arms. Exhale, come into goddess, bend the elbows, cactus arms, matching the legs. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, cactus arms, bending the knees. Pull that belly in. Same rules here of pelvis as chair pose. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, goddess. Where do you feel this? Where do you feel this? I feel it a lot in my back body. I don't feel it so much in my front body. Maybe that's different for you. Bring your hands to the inside of your thighs, just behind the knees, like above the knees, and really shoot the torso forward. Use your hands as a pressure point to open the knees up even more, but also to shoot your spine nice and straight. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the left. Drop that right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Perhaps the gaze is over the left shoulder. Inhale to center, and exhale, twist to the right. Left shoulder forward, right shoulder up, gaze is up over the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale to center, find your full goddess. Stick that for a moment. From here, you could do those lifts. You could keep the goddess shape and use your chair. Or you can come with me, hands clasped behind the head. Inhale here. Exhale, right elbow toward right thigh. Maybe it lands, maybe it doesn't. Inhale all the way to center. Try not to use momentum. Exhale to the left. Try to use muscle. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. And exhale to the left. Inhale to center, and wherever you are, lift all the way up. Parallel the feet by swiveling the heels out. Feet are parallel. Hands on your hips. Lift your heart center. Exhale, fold wide-legged forward fold. What do you need to feel most comfortable in your forward fold? I love being able to rest my head on something. So right now I have a block tower going on, also an option. Maybe hands are walking very far forward of you, like you're in the widest down dog of your existence. Yes. Maybe the hands come back behind, pulling the torso backward. Yeah. Find what you need and take it. Notice your breath here in this shape. Notice the parts of your body that are touching the earth. Notice the quality of your thoughts. And try to focus your attention back on this breath right here. When you're ready, come up halfway, pressing your hands into the earth, into the floor, or into your thighs. Walk your feet back together. You can bend your knees as much as you'd like. And then roll all the way up to Tadasana. And just shake it out. You do a little can-can kick. Yeah. This is actually adduction of this thigh bone here. So this is the total opposite movement than what we just did. So it might feel nice. Might feel nice to wiggle your butt. I don't know. Maybe Ariane will get on her pole for a hot second. We're transitioning into our yin portion of class. So whatever you want. I'm going to get rid of the chair for yin because in yin, we're really on the floor. We're really mostly on the floor. So what do you need to get comfortable for yin? Blankets, pillows? What do you need? I'm going to use a blanket, a bolster, and some blocks. So let's talk about the difference between yang and yin. So you'll notice I gave a lot of anatomical cues in our yang portion of class. So in yin, we throw those straight in the garbage, right? Yin is a passive stretching practice where we surrender to gravity and time. So you'll see I use my Apple Watch to time us in postures. First, so that I don't keep you there for an inanely torturous amount of time. Second, so that we do the same amount of time on each side. So we played a lot with the lower body in our yang class. So our yin class, I'd really like to work on our top half. So I'd love for you to begin on the belly. And it's funny because I brought all these props out and you don't need any of them right now. So just lay on your belly. See how that feels for you. Maybe making a pillow with your hands. Resting the head on your hands, perhaps bending at the knees, windshield wipering the feet side to side. And just in this supine position, knowing that we are transitioning into a softer practice. Maybe once again, begin to notice how your breath feels inside your body today. Maybe noticing in this shape, the downward pressure that you feel in your inhale and the lightness you might feel pulling away from the floor on the exhale. Good. From here, I'd love for you to extend your arms out in a T. This pose is called shoulder pigeon, and I'm going to be showing my back to you for this side, and I'll show the front on the other side, but I think the back is more important first. So here, my whole chest is on the floor. Yeah. My right hand is extended out, and it's at the same level as my right shoulder. And from here, I'm going to slide my left fingertips in toward my left shoulder, and I'll roll onto my right hip. Maybe I don't get all the way onto my right hip, and if I don't, I can prop my body up with something like a bolster, right? So just go where you're comfortable. Maybe the bolster is better for under the head. Yeah. From here, you have options. As always, find where you're most comfortable and where your edge is in the front of that right shoulder. And then lift your left leg. Maybe you'd like it in front of you to steady you. Or perhaps that left sole of the foot comes behind the right knee. Perhaps the left arm comes back behind. It could rest with the sacrum. Some people have very, very open shoulders and can grab the other hand. I'm not there. So go where you're comfortable and begin to breathe. Easy, right? Notice your breath here. Notice the qualities of your breath again. Is it shallow or is it deep? And with each breath, can you soften? Can you make each breath smoother and more gentle than the one before? Here's where yin really differentiates from a yang practice. Can you release all of the muscular energy in your body? Can you release both legs? Yeah, even if that left leg sort of decides that it's gonna move or if you need to move it. Can you release the tension perhaps in your glutes, pelvis, and low belly? Can you release the muscles of your entire torso, chest? Can you release your left shoulder, arm, and hand? And now here's the hard part. Can you release your right fingertips, your right hand, your right arm, and your right shoulder? And breathe into the spaces where you feel most intensely. Each breath growing smoother, longer, and more gentle. When you're ready and moving very, very slowly, begin to come back onto your belly. I always find that coming out of yin poses is a process. Yes. So give yourself time. Give yourself time. Find your belly. And then bring those right fingertips in toward the body. That left arm is out to the left. Rock onto your left hip. Yes, and find, this is called shoulder pigeon. Find that shoulder pigeon for yourself. Yes. And maybe it's different on this side. So maybe on this side, I can't get onto my left hip. So I decide to have this bolster here so I can lean my torso over to the right a bit more. Maybe my right foot very easily comes behind my left knee. Maybe I even want to join it with my left foot. That's only if you can relax that whole left arm. Maybe right arm comes back behind. Maybe it's some combination of all of these things. Can you release the muscles of your face? Can you release the tongue from the roof of your mouth? Can you invite a little bit of space between the back molars? Releasing the lower half of your body, all the way from belly button down. Releasing all of the muscles of the torso, front and back. Releasing the muscles of the right arm and shoulder. And then the left arm, left hand, left shoulder. Each breath grows softer, smoother, and deeper. One more exhale here. And then inhale, come all the way down to your belly, nice and slow. And maybe bring your arms by your side palms face up. And just relax here for a moment. That was a big stretch. We're gonna do a couple more big stretches. So I have my bolster and I will probably use a block as well. You can, in place of these things, use your pillows. Come in a side lying. I like to call it George Costanza pose. Maybe only one or two people will laugh at that. I think it's funny. I'm gonna reuse that joke forever. George Costanza pose. So I have this bolster and I'm bringing it underneath my head, but it is not crossing my arm because I want to do some arm work here. Now, if this is pinchy on your right knee, so my left leg is long, my right knee is bent in front of my left leg. And if this feels pinchy on the inside of your hip especially, maybe the inside of your right knee is propped up on a block. Now I'm going to bring my right arm into cactus. My right elbow is in line with my right shoulder. The back of my right hand is against the floor. The rule is don't lift up the right elbow. Begin to rotate from the humerus bone, so from this long bone of the upper arm, so that the palm of your hand begins to face the floor. Release that hand, so it's very, very limp. Take your right hand onto the forearm of the left and just sort of gently give it some weight. Again, in yin, we're not trying to press or grip or hold any tension except for the things that are necessary to keep us from sinking into the earth, yeah? But just notice this stretch. Close your eyes and see if you can find that sensation. See if you can pinpoint exactly where you feel it. And then begin to soften around it. Soften the entire left shoulder and arm, left hand. Soften the left chest. And then allow that softness to just permeate in all directions. Softening your whole torso, both of your legs. And just breathe. If you need more sensation, you can move the elbow up toward the top of your mat. Less sensation, move it down. Inhale, release the right arm from your left arm. Bring that left arm back into cactus just for a moment. And then extend that left arm long once again. Remove a block if it was underneath your right knee. And stack your right hand on top of left. From here, we're coming back to the belly, but I'm gonna keep my left shoulder exactly where it is. I'm gonna slide my right hand past my left. I'm gonna use my bolster to make a pillow for my forehead here. And just notice where you feel this stretch most. And again, we're really not trying to grip or hold or press. We're trying to surrender. We are trying to surrender the muscular body so that we can begin to come into some of those deeper tissues, like your ligaments, tendons, cartilage, fascial network, all of that good stuff that's hard to stretch, but in the end lends to increased range of motion. That's where we're going here. So anything that you can do to help your body relax, like propping up your head, maybe even propping up your ankles on something like a rolled up blanket or another pillow. I'm actually using my right arm as a weight on top of my left hand. My left fingers have no energy through them. And I'm breathing into the outside of my left shoulder, which is where I feel this stretch most. Every breath brings me softness. Inhale, roll back on the sideline on your left hip still. Remove any support you had for your head. And walk your left shoulder blade over to the far right edge of your mat. Bring your left arm in cactus once again. And bring your hand to heart center as you bring your right knee in front of your left. Inhale, open up for a twist. So my hips are stacked right on top of left. And I have choices here. You could stay just like this, both arms in cactus, sort of floating here. Maybe your right shoulder doesn't quite make it down to the earth. That's okay. I could bring my left hand to the outside of my right leg. I could bend my left knee and go for my left foot with my right hand incorporating a quadricep stretch here. This is cat pulling its tail. I could, if I wanted to, go for that right foot, right toe with my left hand. Again, these grips here, my right hand holding my left foot, my left hand holding my right foot, should be really low energy. So if this is not accessible, maybe bending that right knee is. If that doesn't feel good, come back here. What's good for your body right now? What allows you to soften, to breathe more smoothly, to access that calm within you? Inhale, roll onto your back. Find your whole spine. Maybe feet as wide as the mat, knees tucked in. Maybe the hands are on the body or on the sides of the body. Take a couple of breaths, just like that. I'm going to switch around sides. And when you're ready, we'll do the right side. So come into side lying on your right hip. Left knee comes in front of you, bends at about a 90-degree angle. It doesn't have to be that severe. It could just be, hanging out in front of you. It's just for steadiness. Okay? And we'll do that subscapularis stretch first. So that's the cactus one. Subscapularis muscle is right underneath your shoulder blade, between your shoulder blade and your ribcage. So from here, my right elbow is in line with my right shoulder. I'm going to take my right hand and rotate it from the elbow all the way down. My right hand's now hanging limp. Left arm and hand weights down the forearm of the right hand. You can wiggle it around a little bit. You can move that elbow up or move it down to find your perfect stretch, whatever feels right for you. And I have some support underneath my head in the form of a bolster, but maybe it's a blanket. Maybe it's a pillow. Maybe you'd like some extra support underneath that left knee as well. Up to you. For the yin portion of classes, or for yin classes, I tend to practice a lot with my eyes closed. Yeah. So if that feels like you're ready to do it, go ahead and close the eyes. And really, once again, try to find where this sensation is for you. And then try to soften everything around that sensation. That whole right shoulder, the whole right armpit area, the whole right arm. And then allow that softness to spread. Whole front body and back body. The left arm and hand. Both legs and feet. Come back to your breath here. Notice its sensation. Notice your inhale and notice your exhale. And when you're ready, release that left hand. Allow the right arm to come back into cactus. And then I'm going to move this bolster just a little bit ahead of me, extending that right arm long. I'm going to get rid of the block that was underneath my left knee and cap my right hand with my left. Inhaling here and then exhaling, rolling onto my belly, taking my left arm past my right, but keeping my right shoulder pinned underneath my chest. Perhaps I don't make it all the way. That's okay. You can use your hand or a prop to help you stay up. Or maybe I make it all the way to my belly and I want something under my head. And again, for this one, I find myself often gripping through my hands. So I like to do things to make sure that I don't. So like I will give my right hand my left arm to curl around so that I'm not gripping, rather I'm just allowing the weight of my left arm to hold my hand open. Notice where you feel this most, and perhaps here you can really hone in on what feels different on this side versus the other side. It's not good or bad, and it's not better or worse. It's just a sensation that you're having in this moment on this side that might be different or the same as another sensation. Notice and soften. What does your breath feel like? Where do you like to hold tension? about your belly? Can you let it just hang and be? On your next inhale, begin to roll all the way down onto your back and have your bolster ready because we're gonna do my favorite pose. So first, allow the whole spine just to release into the floor. From here, find your heels maybe underneath your knees or a bit forward of the knees, it doesn't matter. And you can use either a block, a bolster, or 2 pillows, one stacked on top of the other. Slide your prop underneath your sacrum. That is the part of your pelvis, the back part of your pelvis that's flat. It's right above your butt crack. Yes. There you go. Oh my God, supported bridge. I love it. Supported bridge is the best pose in the whole world. You can't even fight me because it's just objectively true. How do you feel in this pose? Just notice. And then know that you have so many options with your arms. Maybe they're on your body. Maybe they're in cactus. Maybe that feels really nice after all of the shoulder work we did. You also have the option to extend your legs. You could do one at a time and switch, or you can extend both legs, creating this long, open curve in the body. If you'd like to, you could also go for opposite elbows here. I do find that this plays into my want to grip my hands, so I usually don't go for it. I try to be open. My feet are really flaring out. That's okay. Maybe yours turn in. That's okay too. Just notice what the body naturally does. And here I would like to practice a breathing technique. It's not the 3-part breath that we practiced earlier in class, but it does have 3 parts. So you'll inhale for a count of 4, hold at the top for a count of 2, and exhale for a count of 6. Okay. Exhale completely, and I'll walk you through the first one. We're going to do all of this in and out through the nose, if that's comfortable. And right here, begin. In, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue on your own. After your last exhale, take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. And then bring the soles of your feet flat to the floor if they weren't already. Press into the earth and just roll your support away from you so that you can bring your whole spine to the earth. I'm keeping mine underneath my knees because I'm going to use it for Shavasana, which is next. We made it. If you'd like a little bit of decompression, I like it, some people don't, it's up to you. You can bring your hands, heels of the hands very close to your hip crease and press the thighs away. Maybe a rock of the head side to side. Maybe you're just here enjoying the feeling of your spine against the floor. And here we are for Shavasana. I've got my bolster underneath my knees. You can get cozy, comfy with whatever helps you feel great. So find what your final resting pose would like to be. Maybe it looks something like this, arms by your side, palms face up. Maybe your palms are face down. Maybe your hands are on your body. Maybe your arms are in cactus. Maybe this is not doing it for you and you'd like to do something completely different for these last few minutes of class. Please do it. As you lay in your Shavasana, I will take you through a brief body scan that I hope you enjoy. So take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. For the purpose of this body scan, imagine that you are entering your body as a completely foreign entity. You've never been inside your body before. And you are just observing each part of your body as it connects to the next in sequence. There's no judgment. There's no reason to move or change anything. We're just becoming aware of our body and space. So begin with the feet. Noticing your feet. Draw your attention up to your ankles, left ankle and right ankle. Continuing that journey upward, your lower legs, the fronts of your shins and the backs of your calves. And then your knees, left knee and right knee. Noticing where all of those pieces of your lower leg connect to your upper leg in the knee. Bringing your attention to your upper legs, the left thigh and the right thigh, noticing your hamstrings behind your thigh, your quadriceps in front of your thigh, and the muscles that articulate the pelvis and the femur bone on the inside and outside of your thighs. Noticing your whole pelvis. Your low belly. Your mid belly, right where your belly button is. Your upper belly just underneath your ribcage. Notice your whole belly. Bring your attention to the front of your heart. And then notice your whole ribcage connects there. Wraps all the way around your front body, your side body, and comes together on the spine. Notice the back of your heart, right between your shoulder blades. And see your whole spine, all the way from tailbone, back behind your belly, all the way up through the rib cage. Pause at the base of your neck. Notice your right shoulder, your left shoulder, both shoulders together. Notice your whole left arm, especially the elbow, the wrist, the left hand and fingers. Drawing your attention back up that left arm, finding the back of the heart once again. Notice right shoulder. Right whole arm, especially elbow, wrist, right hand and fingers. Bringing your attention all the way back up that right arm and find the front of your heart. Draw your attention up, notice the front of your throat, the back of your neck, the back of your head, sides of your head, whole face and top of the head. Deep breath in, complete breath out. And see your whole body just as it is right here on this mat. Release. Begin to notice where your mind has wandered. And collect that attention back into this space, into your body, onto your mat. Take a slow, smooth inhale through the nose. Part the lips and allow the exhale. When you're ready, using as little muscular effort as possible, roll onto one side, doesn't matter which side. So pause in the fetal position. And then when you're ready, you can come up to a seated posture. You can sit on something if you'd like. Maybe it's a chair, maybe it's a blanket, maybe it's a bolster. Maybe it's just your own knees or crisscross applesauce. Find your seat. Find your tall spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out, up and overhead, palms touch. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center, bow the head toward the hands, a gesture of gratitude for your resilience. Because coming to a 90-minute yoga class today with me is an enormous force of will. Proving that we can do hard things and that those hard things are made easier when we hold each other together. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. I am going to stop this recording and come talk to you all. If you can stay, that's great. If you need to run, no hard feelings, run. But thank you so much for coming to class today. I'm really excited that we raised over $200 for Color of Change. If you'd like to make a donation, you can donate to my Venmo. I'll put it in the chat in a moment. It's also in the email that I sent out. If you don't have Venmo, my Canadian friends, and you'd like to still donate, you can donate directly to Color of Change. The link is also in the email that I sent. Finally, please watch out for my Instagram post about the Daily Dose giveaway. I'm really excited to do this with Kelsey and Connor. And you all have already been entered, and you'll get one more entry if you follow the rules. If you follow the rules, you'll get another entry. And I will announce the winner a week from today. Yeah, I'm gonna come say hi, hang out if you can. If you can't, I love you.